Welcome to the World Wide Well. I'm Dave Householder, and I'm so blessed to be your Bible teacher, bringing you daily Bible encouragement during these very discouraging times. And I just want to hope that you will return every day to get your daily dose of encouragement. And we're going to look today at John chapter 9. John chapter 9 basically is a whole long story about a man who receives his sight. And he goes from being blind to seeing. And we've had those moments in our lives, figuratively speaking, where all of a sudden our eyes are open to a new truth and we see everything differently. And we hope that that continues to happen throughout our lives because it's just a way of progressing in our understanding and in our wisdom. Sometimes we have these experiences which are just so pivotal that we can't look at anything the same and we can't go back to the way we were. We can't go back to being blind again. And this is metaphor of blind spots and seeing is so key for a time like this. When I took driver's ed back in the 1970s, there was a picture of how your field of vision narrowed the faster you were going, which cautioned us against driving too quickly because we don't see as well peripherally when we're driving fast. And we may not see a kid running out in front of a car, or here in Huntington Beach, somebody with a surfboard trying to cross PCH. It, the faster we're going, the harder it is to see around us. Our blind spot tends to grow. And if you've ever backed into something with your car, which I have done with my bus, it's tough because in the corners there, we all have blind spots. And the more intensely we hold our opinions, the more likely it is that we are moving too quickly and we're charging ahead with our opinions. And when we do so, our blind spots tend to grow. Now, I'm not saying don't have opinions, don't have strongly held values and convictions. We need to have those. But the more heated we get in an argument with someone, the more we start to narrow and our blind spot starts to grow, and the less teachable we become. And if you want to be a disciple of Jesus, disciple means a student, mathetes in Greek, a student of Jesus. We want to be eternally, if possible, eternally teachable. So we want to be able to learn. And blind spots are just a part of life. And the more aware we are of our blind spots, the wiser we are. Socrates, back in ancient Greece, said, I am the wisest man in Athens because I know that I do not know. Now, I'm not saying go around saying I'm just so ignorant, I don't know anything. I'll just take anyone's word for it. To be so open-minded, our brains fall out. I'm not asking anyone to do that. But if you can see life like a bowling alley with two gutters, one gutter is having no convictions, just being uh, blown along by whatever wind is blowing at the time. And the other one is to be so rigid in our thinking that our blind spots become gigantic and we lose our ability to see. And it's times like that where I just wish Jesus could come to our country and say, folks, slow down. Your blind spots are getting so big that you're just yelling at each other. Be wise. Be aware of what it is you don't know and have convictions about the things that you do and have a civil conversation with people about those things. I think that is just such a key. In this story from John 9, where this blind man receives his sight, one of the miracles that those of us who have physical sight can get is an opening and an opening of our eyes to see what we know and what we don't know. You can see behind me right now on the screen. You see my bookshelves and my busy, all too full office. I don't see that. It's in my blind spot. And we can help each other with each other's blind spots. This is why we need community. With a community of people, all the blind spots are covered. This is why it's so important to make big decisions in teams. How many of you have made a really bad decision, a really big mistake all by yourself? Well, I have, and my guess is you have too. This is where the Bible talks about a whole bunch of counselors gives us wisdom. We need that board of believers around us to help us through the bigger things. So I'm just asking you today, are you aware of your blind spots? If you slowed down a little bit and were a little bit less strident about what you think, perhaps those blind spots would shrink and we would see more. And if we were to be able to be in community with other believers, this is why it's so important to go to church physically if you can. It's really dropped off during the pandemic. People are just kind of all watching online, which I suppose is better than nothing. But there's something about being together. where we see 360 all the way around us. That's the good news for today, that our eyes can be opened. And I hope you'll join me again tomorrow.